Welcome back to another episode of What's New Wednesday. It is September the 25th, and we'll be covering everything that has happened between September 18th and the 25th. Here's the topics we're going to talk about. Bitcoin and altcoins rallied over the past week, but have since cooled off and have retraced back to monthly support ranges. We got a popular gaming blockchain, Ronin, that has announced incubation of 7 new blockchain games in their ecosystem. So we're going to talk about that. Is it exciting? How bullish are you? How bullish am I? Yeah. We have also some Openloot things to talk about. Openloot announced partnering with a new FPS game called Onetap. There's also some Openloot updates about the Desolation and Bossfighters we're going to be covering this week. And final topic of the week, as always, is big time. We got big time mod ship farming that has been in full swing since the past week and a half or so, but there's been a new patch that came out yesterday that might have put an end to most people's ambitions to earn free mod chips. Can we still earn mod chips, farm mod chips, or is the craze over? Who knows? We'll talk about that. So first topic, let's jump into it. So Bitcoin token price action, it's going all over the place this past week or so. So the last time we talked was the 18th. If we go to the 4-hour chart, we can see we've had ups, we've had downs, right? Here we are now. We're at 63K, Wednesday, the 18th right here. This is where we were last week. We had a huge pump all the way up to just about 65K. Then we slowed it a bit and we went up to 65K. And boom, now we're heading back down. We touched below 63K in the 62K region, and now we're back up to 63K. So what does that mean? Clearly the 65,000 region is the price to beat this upcoming week or two as we make our way into the fabled Uptober. Will October follow historical trends and drag the crypto base into a bullish sort of uptrend? This tends to happen in October. Septembers are quite bearish, Octobers are quite bullish. Will that trend continue? Will we see a repeat in patterns that we've seen year on year? If we go into the daily chart and we zoom out, right? I mean, we can look at last year, October 2023, September right here. September happens and boom, we drop a bunch of price. But by the end of September going into October, boom, we get some serious bullish action, and that goes all the way up into November. And now we're here. Next year, we look at September, August ends and September is bearish AF. But as we come up to the end of September, we've got some bullish price action on the daily. So what does that mean? Are we going to see the big time token price as well as the rest of crypto start moving back in towards all-time highs? An all-time high is about 65K. Is it going to happen? Market structure indicates that we've been printing higher highs and higher lows up until March, but since then, right, we had a break of structure. We've been moving in a downward structure for quite a while. In order to break that structure, we need to move above 65K, because market structure says like this is the last highest high and this is the last lowest low. So if we really break above 65.2K, that is a break of market structure, and that indicates that we are likely to see the token price move upwards. So this is the gist of market structure. If you want to know more about market structure, I mean, there's so many different resources online. Just Google market structure and it tends to be right. Yeah, we got to break 65K. If we check out this Cointelegraph article, it kind of reiterates what I was saying. It says that October could serve to be a reckoning for Bitcoin and crypto as a whole. So let's take a look at this article. This one is also kind of relevant. It talks about Bitcoin bullish setup awaiting confirmation. Confirmation being reaching over 65K. We take a look at this article. It says Bitcoin price coils as the market confirms 65K as resistance. So BTC price chop may face October reckoning. What does that mean? Data from Cointelegraph and TradingView track a return below 64K for Bitcoin after the pair hit new 1-month highs of almost 65K. While achieving higher lows and higher highs on hourly time frames, Bitcoin price action was not enough to convince traders that a major breakout could come next. So we looked at that, right? If we go into the 4-hour, we got higher highs and higher lows over the past, let's say, a month or so, basically since September, went and hit the monthly low. Analyzing market structure, popular trader skew stressed that 65K, the site of key sell-side liquidity throughout recent days, showed no signs of crumbling. Something that's important to note is that this analyst also noted that to the downside, bid liquidity remained in place between 60 and 62K. However, if that 62K region gets broken, then shit could turn bearish real fast. So it's not like we're just primed to just go to the moon and everything is going to be fine once October happens. You got to pay attention. You can't let the FUD make you sell. A lot of short time holders, which is talked about in this part of the article, right? We got some short-term holders who are just stuck holding bags, and because they're stuck holding bags, they're waiting for Bitcoin to go to all-time highs and above again. If those regions get broken, if we fall below 60K, these short-time holders who are stuck as bag holders right now might butt out and paper hand their bags, which could cause a huge sell-off. So it's still super important to just like acknowledge that it's not like guaranteed number go up. Got to make sure you do your research, pay attention to those charts daily, and hopefully everybody will be able to win once we can break 65K. That's about it for crypto this week. We talk about Bitcoin because the rest of the crypto market is so dependent on whether or not Bitcoin succeeds. If we see Bitcoin reach above 65K, we'll see altcoins like Ethereum and Solana, other layer ones, and then, the rest of the altcoins follow suit. But if we don't see that 65K region broken, then we're going to be waiting. So moving onwards. Okay, we're going to talk about the next topic. So on the crypto Web3 gaming front, popular blockchain Ronin has just incubated 7 new projects, new games into their ecosystem with hopes that at least one will be a winner, like Pixels or Axie. Those are some pretty big Ronin games. They made this post giving a blurb about each project, and I don't know, we'll see. So let's look at the games that Ronin has been incubating. Here's this one, Cambria. It is a pixel art MMORPG. It has 2 games, Gold Rush and Duel Arena. The Duel Arena is a PvP game where players duel each other with on-chain stakes, winner takes all. Gold Rush is a larger MMORPG that you can see in the video below. Okay, so what's the theme? The theme is pixel art, low fidelity, but are any of these games good? Obviously, I haven't played any of these games, and some of them aren't even out, right? They're not playable, but some have some pretty nostalgic feels, right? You got this RuneScape sort of game, a little more pixel arty, but still very RuneScape. So this is Cambria. Cambria seems to have done their homework, and it reminds me of like Binding of Isaac mixed with RuneScape, mixed with Pixels, mixed with Raven Quest is the new one, right? Game number 2 on thread number 3, Pixel Heroes. It's a mobile MMORPG, and I don't know of any mobile MMORPGs that have succeeded on mobile, honestly, but maybe I'm wrong. Probably some niche ones that people play on mobile that are good, maybe. It looks like they have a Telegram game too. It's a Tap to Adventure game. It's literally called Tap Adventure. You can play their Telegram game. Not very interested in this, but once again, pixel art theme, so there's the theme. But we've also got a pixel art project called Kuroro, and it has 3 separate games. One game is called Kuroro Ranch, which is a free-to-play Telegram-based virtual pet simulation game. We've got Kuroro Beast Brawl, which is a browser-based PvP arena battle game similar to Axie. Build a deck, select beasts, so on. And then they have Kuroro Wilds, which is an RPG with collectible elements and real-time combat similar to the original Pokemon games. So if you like Pokemon, maybe you'll like this. Sure, it's totally just as good or better than the original Pokemon, right? Okay, don't shoot me. I was kidding. I was joking, chat. So there's another pixel art game that Ronin has incubated, taking a departure from the pixel art that you get in the first three things they've mentioned here. We've got this third-person battle royale shooter, kind of trying to be like the next Fortnite, but with worse graphics and more choppy movement. And so yeah, you can play this game. Any game that tries to compete with Fortnite in the realm that they are so freaking good at kind of is like, okay, but what makes it so much better than Fortnite that I need to play it? Is it just the Web3 elements? Because I mean, that's not enough for a lot of gamers. I love my Web3 games, so I play this just because it's a Web3 game. But yeah, it seems like it's still pretty new. So that's called Party Icons. We got the sixth game, which is called Extreme Verse, and they say it's an anime gaming universe by Glip. Battle Extreme VXT is the first title. I love it when they say it's the first, is their first title. It's a traditional battle royale third-person shooter similar to PUBG or Fortnite. Okay, yeah, it seems like there's more NPCs to kill, so maybe that's what makes it more like PUBG. I don't know. I'm not super excited about it because it just doesn't look very good, and honestly it doesn't really give me a whole lot of anime vibes. Ugh, I don't need the sound. It doesn't really give me a whole lot of vibes. It's kind of cel shaded, and they have like some maybe anime styled outfits. So that's a game that just came out on Ronin. And then finally, lastly, they have The Last Odyssey, which is some kind of RTS, a real-time strategy game. Okay, well, they say it's a Web3 simulation game inspired by real-time strategy. The real-time strategy game Rise of Kingdoms. I haven't played Rise of Kingdoms. Is it any good? It's hard to say. They say things like you can stake to buff your armies, which makes me think like, so it's pay to win then, essentially. But we'll have to see. Maybe it's a game that I would get addicted to. I think right now there's not a whole lot of playable content, but they plan to launch the open beta access before the end of the year, explore their kingdom event, and start earning gold here. So there's probably like a play to airdrop campaign or something. Also not too exciting looking to me. In the last post here, they say that there's also, oh yeah, no, that's not the last one. There's Infomon. Infomon is essentially like Pokemon styled blockchain game that integrates with X and Twitter. It's like an AI powered social media algorithm companion. So in other words, it's boring, but that's being incubated as well. Final thoughts to the Ronin movement. Think about how far we've come in the past couple of years. These 7 teams are building more than games. They're ushering in a new next emperor of the empire. Let's keep pushing. None of those games really jump out at me as like, holy crap, this is the future. But they're games and they're on Ronin. So if you like Ronin, you can go play them, maybe depending on if they're actually out yet. But honestly, this whole post kind of makes me a bit apprehensive because maybe I'm too critical of Ronin, but this honestly, Cambria seems like probably the most put together game out of all of these so far. It seems like the one with the most potential, even though I'm not really too huge on pixel art games. Makes me a bit apprehensive though about getting too involved because it kind of seems like they just are incubating all these games with hopes that maybe one of them might become kind of successful and they can kind of ride that wave a bit. But I don't know, am I crazy? Let me know in the comments if you're watching this in the future, if you have any more insight on any of these games. Have you played them? Are they good? I want to know. So that's the Web3 gaming front. On the Openloot front, we've got some new posts here that are kind of curious. We got gamers, check out this new map on player Onetap. Map Outpost. Explore the zero gravity zones and battle alien spiders in a cosmic setting. Gamers, play Onetap's playlist tutorial is live on YouTube. Learn the basics to get started on Onetap. Perfect for beginners. Check out. Okay. So there's multiple things about Onetap. Let's see. Where's their first post they've made about it? I think it's this one. Gamers, check out the game overview of our newest game partner, player Onetap. This is a game that just entered the Openloot ecosystem, and let's take a look at this. Onetap FPS. So when I look at these graphics, I'm thinking like Dune or like Unreal Tournament 2005 graphics, freaking Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. The graphics are Well, they're just not good. Let's just be honest. They're not good. PS3 graphics, maybe even PS2 graphics. So there's that. But okay, so I'm really bullish on Openloot. I love my Openloot ecosystem. Even if I'm not playing all the Openloot games, I'm super bullish on Openloot. It's very similar to like the Ronin ecosystem, except for it's maybe not as developed and fleshed out. Here's this new game they're adding to their ecosystem. And like I said, it's just pretty basic. Graphics feel pretty bad, but you can tell that they've got loot boxes like you just saw there, and that's pretty similar to Counter-Strike. But like, am I just being too critical? Maybe the game is super fun. Like, is the movement really good? I remember like a year ago, there was that browser-based game, first-person shooter that everyone was playing. Maybe this is kind of similar to that. Sure, the graphics weren't great, but people were able to be really competitive with it. It kind of reminds me of all the first-person shooters that I played growing up, and I was super clutch at those, and like the movement of those games doesn't really exist anymore. So maybe this is a game that I could like get into and kind of really be king at, because I used to be really good at shooters until they changed all the movement to be very I wouldn't say more fast-paced, but just there's different sort of lunging and jumping and sliding that I'm not really used to. But I don't know how I feel about Onetap yet, chat. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments if you're watching this in the future. We got some comments. Okay, so that's part of the Openloot front. There's a couple other Openloot things we need to talk about, some other Openloot news. Let's take a look. The first thing I want to mention is that last week we talked about how the economy for Desolation was going to be entering into part 2. It's live now. So what is the gist of that? From what I can tell from this article, because I don't really play Desolation yet. I have a mystery box for their game, but I haven't done anything else. Just is there's more crafting, there's a new dungeon, there's some quality of life stuff, but there's also like modular weapons and yeah, new resources. So if you play Desolation and you have some more info you want to share, let me know, because I'm curious to know how this game is going. Lastly, there is some new boss fighters updates. They just announced a new sprint, so they tend to do these like 7-day sprints where you're able to like earn flex and some mystery boxes and things like that. So they say that if you play 5 matches as a boss and 5 matches as a fighter, you can obtain flex and you can compete for mythic boss skins and mystery boxes. The top 3 players will win a mythic skin, 2 mystery boxes each. So if you guys have been playing boss fighters, I'm sure you guys are already earning flex, but make sure you're playing both the boss fighter, the boss, and the fighter in order to make sure you're getting the max rewards here. Have you guys played boss fighters yet? Let me know. It's been live 24/7 for a while now, so if you've been playing it, are you in the running to win yourself some cool stuff? Let me know. All right, on the big time front, we have mod chips have been dropping like crazy when you get the right rolls and you're playing Dunes dungeons these days, the past week and a half or so, and a lot of people have been farming the crap out of it. Essentially, it's like the amount of mod chips you earn is 100% dependent on how long you wanted to grind. So I was grinding mod chips for like a dozen or more hours the past week, especially while I was doing my marathon subathon stream, and I looted a few thousand of each mod chip at least. But Big Time just put out an update that may have stopped the fun times, so let's go over the patch notes quickly. Fixed an issue allowing summoner mobs to summon minions indefinitely. This was one of the ways that you could farm mod chips like crazy. If you had like a quartermaster or a hive mob or any other sort of summoner monster and you didn't kill them and you just let them keep summoning, they would just summon in perpetuity, and those summons could drop mod chips. So they made that so it didn't happen anymore. They also changed the additional player count bonus roll to work as intended, which means less mobs, which means less mod chips. They also said something like fixed an issue allowing loot drop for one user to be picked up by another. This is probably part of the reason why everyone was getting so many mod chips. And then they also said fixed mod chip and artifact fragment stacks can no longer be split. And they also said that dropped loot will now disappear after 5 minutes. So those are a bunch of different changes that I think will affect people's ability to farm mod chips. And I haven't tried to do mod chip farming since this update came out, but it does make me feel like the mod chip farming craze is most likely over. But if you guys are farming mod chips and you have some information you want to share in the future, let me know. If you're still able to make it work for you, because they made a lot of changes here which made it seem like they probably would be pretty hard to farm mod chips now. If you guys have already been trying to farm mod chips and you're still finding success, definitely let me know in the comments. Seems like that fun time is over, so hopefully you all were able to farm as many mod chips as possible. I'm happy with the amount of mod chips I farmed. Tonight we're gonna craft a Stygian item and we're gonna hope for a double output. I got almost 3,000 workshop mod chips. Fingers crossed we're gonna make some magic happen. But that's it for this week on What's New Wednesday, guys. If you guys are watching this in the future, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow, leave a comment, and as always, don't forget to tell somebody about it, and I will see you all next week. Deuces.